Hello everyone, I'm Trevor Noah, and here's what's been happening around the world. You know, the world, that spinning ball of chaos we call home. It's been a busy week, folks, with everything from health scares to tech shakeups. Let's dive into the top events from the past week, starting from April 20th. We're talking monkeypox, wildfires, tech regulations, economic woes, lighthearted stuff. Buckle up because we're about to navigate the roller coaster of current events, and as always, we're doing it together. Alright, first up, let's talk monkeypox. Now, before you start picturing a planet overrun by, well, monkeys with pox, let me clarify. The World Health Organization had a little get-together this week to discuss the recent uptick in monkeypox cases. And by little get-together, I mean a serious meeting of minds dedicated to figuring out how to tackle this thing. They went deep on transmission, symptoms, and most importantly, how to stop this outbreak from turning into something bigger. The WHO emphasized the importance of contact tracing and vaccination, particularly for those most at risk. They stressed that early detection is key to containing the spread. They also tackled the misinformation swirling around monkeypox because, let's be honest, nothing causes global panic like a healthy dose of unfounded rumors. They made it clear that this isn't just an African disease, as some have suggested. It can affect anyone, anywhere, and we need to fight the virus, not each other. Next up, we're heading over to the West Coast, where California is unfortunately no stranger to wildfires. This past week has seen some particularly intense blazes, fueled by dry conditions and strong winds. These fires are no joke, folks. They're displacing families, destroying homes, and leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. Firefighters are working tirelessly to contain the flames, but it's a tough battle. We've got to give a shout out to the bravery of these firefighters, putting their lives on the line to protect people and property. But this also raises the issue of climate change and its role in these increasingly frequent and severe wildfires. It's a stark reminder that this is a global crisis and we all have a part to play in addressing it. Time to talk tech, specifically, the European Union's new regulations for big tech, which just went into effect this week. The EU is basically laying down the law, telling tech giants they can't just run wild in the digital playground anymore. These regulations are all about protecting users' privacy, boosting competition, and preventing the spread of harmful content. We're talking stricter rules on data collection, more transparency in algorithms, and a crackdown on hate speech. Now, these regulations are facing some pushback from tech companies who claim they stifle innovation and hurt the digital economy. But many argue that these rules are long overdue, a necessary step to rein in the power of big tech and create a fairer, safer online world. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out and what impact it has on the future of the internet. Meanwhile, over in Italy, the G7 summit wrapped up with leaders from the world's most powerful economies discussing, well, everything. From the war in Ukraine to climate change to global economic recovery, it was a packed agenda. On Ukraine, they reiterated their support for the country and condemned Russia's aggression. Climate change saw some progress, with commitments to phase out coal-fired power plants and increase financial aid to developing nations. However, there were also some disagreements, particularly on how to address rising inflation and the ongoing food crisis. Ultimately, the G7 summit highlighted both the potential for international cooperation and the challenges of finding common ground on complex global issues. And finally, let's talk about the economy, or more specifically, the looming fear of a global recession. We're seeing stock markets tumble, inflation soaring, and economists sounding the alarm bells. There are a lot of factors at play here. The war in Ukraine, supply chain disruptions, rising energy prices, and let's not forget, the lingering effects of the pandemic. Governments and central banks are trying to navigate this tricky terrain, but there's no easy fix. This economic uncertainty is causing anxiety for businesses and individuals alike. It's a reminder that we're all interconnected in this globalized world, and what happens in one corner of the planet can have ripple effects everywhere else. That's a wrap on the major global events from last week. From monkeypox updates to tech regulations to economic concerns, it's been a roller coaster of news. But hey, that's the world we live in. Complex, ever-changing, and always keeping us on our toes. Stay informed, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates. And remember, In a world that often feels overwhelming, staying informed is the first step to making a difference.